Hello everyone, and welcome. So it has been a little while since I've last shared and uploaded a video with you all. So I'm really excited about this one. What I'm going to do, as you might suspect, is I'm going to share a little bit of how my training's been going. I'll actually run through one of my recent training sessions with you. I'll talk about some of the exercises I'm doing, how I'm thinking when I'm doing them, why I'm doing them, how it's all in alignment with the goals I'm aiming to accomplish, so on and so forth. Quick update on my progress right now too. So it's been, I haven't done the math. What is it, like seven and a half months since I finished my last competition season. So my last competition of 2023 was in November, and now it is May 24th, 2024. So what is that, 7.5 months since then? Seven and a bit months? Not sure, but it's been a while. So I'm pretty deep into this improvement season. My main goal right now is to build as much muscle as I possibly can until my next competition season, which is not going to be for a little while. Now, I do have this whole improvement season timeline and my next competition start date pretty much mapped out and set. Jeff and I actually worked on that together back in March, which is really exciting. Jeff is my coach. So I've got a lot of direction right now. We've got a plan. Again, the big broad plan right now is to build as much muscle as possible universally all over my physique, with a couple of areas that I'm trying to specialize in just a little bit more. So my delts, like my upper back thickness, so like my traps and rhomboids, some of that upper back musculature I'm trying to focus on a little bit more, and then a little bit more focus on my hamstrings and glutes as well. And aside from that, I'm trying to build muscle basically universally all over, so that the next time that I compete, hopefully my weaker points catch up to the muscularity of the rest of my body and I see some noticeable improvements. Now, I am pretty deep into this improvement season, and I've been putting in a lot of effort and a lot of energy in trying to improve. I'm thinking I'm seeing some changes in the mirror too, which is really encouraging, of course. It's tough to be able to be super objective about what you're seeing in the mirror and concretely being able to say, like, yes, I am putting on some muscle when you're deeper into a bulking phase, just because the body fat. So right now, I have a significantly higher amount of body fat than when I'm prepping, for example, and the body fat that's covering over the muscle makes it tough to know for sure how much or what kind of changes are actually occurring underneath the body fat that's on my frame now. So that all aside, I think even with being this far into the bulk, I think I am seeing improvements in the areas pretty much universally, but especially in the areas that I'm focusing on, which is really encouraging. Won't know for sure the extent of the improvements until I really do like a serious diet, particularly my next competition prep diet, which again won't be for a while. But I suspect that I'm making some progress already. So 7-8 months into the improvement season here. I am, between now and when I do my next competition prep, I am going to be doing a couple of short fat loss phases. It won't be longer than 3 months each. They'll be about 10 to 12 weeks each time I do these little fat loss phases. The intention is to lose about, 12 to 15 pounds each time, so that basically I position myself by the time I start my prep. I'm going to be already quite lean when I start, so I won't have to prep for as long, and I will hopefully be able to hold on to more muscle in doing so, and hopefully as well reach a leaner physique without as much stress, overall stress, like physiological stress and mental stress. That's kind of what happens when you do a competition, especially a long season. So that's what the goal is, basically to position myself for the start of my next competition season to be like already like a pretty lean position. So I'll do 2 fat loss phases between now and when I start, and then lots of time in between for gaining, being in a little bit of a surplus. So again, the main goal is building muscle. So I'm going to give myself lots of time for that and see how much muscle we can put on the frame. So there you have it. The plan is pretty much in play. It's really nice just to have a timeline and have something to aim at and work towards and be excited about. So there you have it. That all being said, let's go ahead and dive into the training. I'm really excited to show you what I've been doing. My intention is to show this to you because, well, one, I just really love this stuff and it's fun for me to talk about. So hopefully you'll enjoy it too. And then also I'll share a little bit about, like, again, what, why, and why I'm doing everything that I'm doing. And maybe you'll be able to take some of what I share with you. You can try it yourself, take it and run with it. If it works for you, then keep implementing it. Maybe that'll be great. If not, you can try it. It doesn't work for you, no problem. Then at the very least, you'll know, hey, this doesn't work for me, and then you know not to do it again. Anyhow, let's go ahead and dive in. Excited to show this to you. So here we go. Before we get into the training footage, this is a little bit of footage from my walk that I went on yesterday. So what I've been doing is I've been going for walks in the middle of the afternoon, early evening, every day. That's part of my routine. On Thursdays, I go for a longer walk because it's a non-training day. I like to be nice and active, and I've got this beautiful trail that I go on right next to the lake. The weather's really nice. I love it. Going for walks is such a nice way to be able to unplug, get away from electronics, expose yourself to nature. Just helps with stress relief, the mindset overall. But anyways, there you have it. Here's the beginning of my training session. So I started the session off with these Romanian deadlifts, this Romanian deadlift variation. I've shown you guys this before. I've been progressing with this variation for, my goodness, since before November 2023. That was when I finished my last competition season. And now it is end of May 2024. So I've been sticking with these for a long time. Quick side note here, as far as like training programming goes, I tend to be someone that prefers to stick with the same exercises for as long as is feasibly possible. So basically, for as long as I'm able to progress with an exercise, I'm going to opt to stick with it. As long as I can continue progressing with it, and as long as it's not causing any kind of nagging pains, nagging injuries, or if it doesn't get like so psychologically stale, I need a change, I'll try to stick with it for as long as possible. And so I've been sticking with this one for a good amount of time. And reasons for that being is, well, it seems to be doing the trick. The exercise, it's a hip hinge. It's a Romanian deadlift variation. The intention is to mainly target my hamstrings, the glutes. I'm also feeling it with this grip. I'm using like a straight bar grip here. I'm feeling it in my lower lats as well. It's not one of the main movers of the exercise, my back, but it's definitely getting some stimulus. But anyways, feeling a tremendous amount of tension, moving slowly as I go down with that little bit of an extra pause at the bottom of each rep. Mainly feeling the tension close to the bottom of the rep in the hamstrings. Pretty strong sensation. So I think it's hitting the spot the way that I'm hoping it is. I'm wanting it to. My hamstrings, glutes, and my back are all areas that I'm trying to give a little bit of extra attention between my competition seasons. So the next time I compete, I'm hoping that my super lean physique at that time will show an improved basically entire posterior chain. So anyways, the exercise seems to be doing the trick. These are my flat barbell bench presses, but not just any barbell. This is a cambered bar. So you'll notice that it's shaped a little bit differently than like a standard Olympic barbell or a standard bench press barbell or deadlift barbell. Benefits of using this kind of a barbell is, the main one being, you can move with more depth. You get a little bit more range of motion. You can bring the barbell lower, which allows your chest to stretch out more. You can elongate your pecs just a little bit more, actually a significant amount more. It feels like a significant amount more. And potentially get more stimulus at the bottom of each rep from doing that. One of the reasons why I switched to this from a standard barbell bench press is it's nice because you can get away with lifting lighter loads and get tons and tons of stimulus, tons of tension from the added depth. It's nice to lift with less load if you can get away with it, because it puts less tension on your connective tissue and joints. So it's helpful for like a longevity standpoint. Growing muscle, it takes time. So being able to keep your joints and connective tissue nice and pain-free and healthy for as long as possible will keep the muscle growth process as uninterrupted as possible. So in lowering the lifting with lighter loads but getting tons of stimulus, it seems to be really cohesive with maximizing like my muscle growth, my gains, my chest gains, if you will. So I'm loving that. This is a chest supported T-bar row. This is one of the meat and potatoes exercises for developing another one of my weak points, which is like my upper inner back musculature. So it's like I'm really aiming to get like a thicker upper back, especially like the traps and rhomboids, a lot of that kind of musculature. And this is really seeming to be hitting the spot. I get a very strong stretch sensation at the bottom of each rep. If you notice, you're really observant, you can see that I'm actually allowing that my shoulders to kind of round forward a little bit at the bottom of each rep. The reason for that being is I'm trying to allow for extra elongation of my upper back muscles at the bottom of each rep to basically maximize stimulus, and then I end each set with these Kessler shrugs to basically get everything I possibly can out of what gas is left in the tank for my traps and some of those other upper back muscles. These are, I suppose, what you would call a full range of motion lateral dumbbell lateral raise. I'm doing them seated. You can also do them standing. I like doing these and a lot of my lateral raise variations seated now, because sitting down, you're more stable. And that seems to be helping me. It's helping me keep these really strict. I am trying to move with a lot of control on the eccentric. So as I'm lowering the weights, I'm trying to force my muscles to have to work super hard to control the weight on the way down, with the hope that that is exposing them to tons of mechanical tension. They're getting lots of stimulus for muscle growth. And it's a cool exercise because it allows your delts, your side delts, to move in pretty much the largest range of motion you can probably get away with. So I've been doing these. I've been really enjoying them. One of my other areas of focus, in addition to my hamstrings, glutes, and upper back, is also my delts. So my delts are one of my weaker areas on my physique. So I've been giving them a little bit more attention over this improvement season. And I've been a little bit more creative with how I've been progressing and what I've been doing in the program with them, the kind of things that I've been doing. So these, and you'll see, I'm going to superset them with a dumbbell overhead press. So interesting. I'm supersetting one delt exercise with another delt exercise. This is something that Jeff, my coach, he suggested I start kind of implementing some of these principles with my delts in particular. And so this was back in March. We talked about trying this stuff. And since I tried it, the first time I tried it, I was like, man, this is definitely hitting. That's for sure. And by hitting, I mean like I'm getting a very strong tension sensation in my delts, lots of metabolic stress burning. So I think based off of what I'm feeling and how I'm progressing with these, I think they're doing a lot of good. And then also from a visual standpoint, like I'm in a lean bulk, so I have a good amount of body fat right now, but even so, like it looks like I'm gaining size on all of these areas that I'm focusing on. Again, it's really tough to be able to really know unless you're quite lean to be able to just see muscle. But I think that I'm seeing some changes in the mirror, and I'm certainly putting a lot of effort and energy into maximizing the stimulus I'm getting with those kind of weaker body parts. These are a bicep curl variation that I really like. I really like this machine. Don't love all machines, but I like the way that this one fits for me. Same principles apply to basically everything else I'm doing. moving with a good amount of control in the eccentric. So like as I lower the weight down, and I'm making sure that I'm moving with a ton of depth. So I'm actually like locking out my elbows at the bottom of each rep so that my biceps are fully stretched out. And I can move with the largest range of motion possible. And then as bro-y as it sounds, I am trying to keep tension on my biceps. Like I'm trying to minimize any kind of loss of energy. And by loss of energy, I mean energy that goes outside of my biceps, like any kind of weird swinging or anything like that. Like I really want to just maximize the amount of tension that my biceps are being exposed to. And again, like maybe it sounds a little bit like pseudoscience-y, but I think there's some merit in that. Between sets, I get a pretty big pump in my biceps. I feel tons of tension. So again, I think it's hitting the spot. And then ending the session here, two honorable mentions that are not being shown. My leg extensions I also did, and calf raises I did as well, but they're not shown here. Last exercise shown are these tricep push downs. Same principles again as everything else I'm doing. Controlled eccentric and pausing at the top. I think a lot of people will really accentuate pausing when you're contracted, like at the bottom. But probably is less stimulus from that than you'd get from pausing or moving extra slow, kind of when you're at the point where your muscles are more stretched, more elongated. Like, see, I'm just kind of applying these same principles to everything I'm doing, and it seems to be working. Anyways, this concludes the end of the video here. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you liked it, if you have any questions about anything I'm doing, please go ahead and leave your questions in the comments. If you like the channel, my goodness, please go ahead and subscribe. Like the video too if you like it. And there will be more videos to come. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.